everybody. How are you guys doing? To Vision of Yes, honey, I am so excited to be here today. This is another edition of You Know It, Wealthy Wednesdays. Now, this is Delio. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are an author, if you're a speaker, a coach, if you're in network marketing, maybe you're just trying to figure out what your next best move should be, I highly encourage you to make sure that you stay tuned in to Wealthy Wednesdays, because what we do here, y'all, is we bring authors, specifically authors, because you know that's my whole thing, right? We work with authors, but we bring specifically authors here so that they can share with you guys how they are impacting the world with their words. And today, like every other Wednesday, we absolutely have an incredible person that's going to be with us today. And so I am so excited to have her. But do me a favor. Listen, we are live. So do me a favor. I know that we have people that are watching us right now. Go ahead and type in the chat space what city and state you are watching from. Now, if you're watching in one of our Facebook groups, make sure to include your name, because Facebook, you know, in the groups, they really don't like to highlight y'all names. So put your name in there as well. But if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere, go ahead and put in the chat space. I will put your name up on the screen. All right. I got the wrong layover right there. But yes. Okay. There we go. Risa in Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Risa. She is, of course, a part of our BPC family. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and put your city and state. We have Deech Lynn out of Ocala. I think that's how you say it. Ocala, Florida. Hello, Deech. How are you doing, darling? Listen, if you guys are just joining us, make sure that you do go ahead and chat in the space. Also, do me another thing. One thing that I am big on is networking and connecting. And whenever you get an opportunity, always, always, always let people know who you are. So, you know, you can go ahead and type in the chat space, what is your help statement? So I help ABC to XYZ. Who do you serve and how do you serve? So go ahead and make sure you put that in the chat space. And hello, Parvez. Parvez, I hope I said that right. Or Parvez, I know you're watching on LinkedIn. Well, let's get into our interviewee today. So I'm going to introduce her real quick so that you guys can get a chance to know who we're going to be talking to on today. So let's get into it. Tiawanna Thompson is a resident of Snellville, Georgia, and originally from Bogue Chitto, Mississippi. Now, I hope I pronounced that right. She holds a bachelor's and master's degree in accounting from the University of Mississippi and worked as an accountant in corporate America for several years. However, Tiawanna had a strong desire to make more direct impact on people's lives, which led her to pursue a career in education. As a teacher, she wears multiple hats, including that of a counselor, and aims to use her personal experiences to understand and help her students overcome challenges. Tiawanna strongly believes that partnering with parents can help students become their best selves. With a growing number of young students diagnosed with mental health challenges, she hopes to inspire and encourage others through her own journey towards mental wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, Tiawanna Thompson. Hello, Tiawanna. Oh my goodness, girl. Look at this. So you were clear the whole time. Now, child, it's looking blurry. What in the world? Why would it do us like that? As soon as she come on live, it want to blur out. Because I want everybody to be able to see your beautiful face, I'm going to kick you out and make you come back in so that we can make sure we can see her clearly. So I'm going to look, we live, y'all. And so when we're live, sometimes these things happen, but I want to make sure that you can see her beautiful face so that she can tell you a little bit more about. So we're going to wait for her to come back on in. Hey, Deech has put into the chat space, I help bring families together one swookie at a time. The best tasting sweet potato pie cooking in the world. Girl, that's my favorite pie in the world. So, honey, listen, I need some of that from Ocala, Florida. Okay, so let me bring her back on. Yes, you see, that's what I'm trying to say. I told you it was much more clear. Well, Tiawanna, listen, thank you so much for coming back on, and I'm definitely excited to have a conversation with you about today's topic. But if you could give us a little bit more of a breakdown of who Tiawanna is and how did she come to be an author, especially on this topic of mental wellness.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tiawanna Thompson, and thank you, Taria, for having me today. Thank you. I'm Tiawanna Thompson. I am an educator, and I wanted to be a part of this collaboration book specifically because I had or I've dealt with mental health challenges, but specifically, I was dealing with it as a child, and I deal with children every day in my everyday work life. And so I be vigilant over those students that I deal with every day. So, but I also wanted to share my story so that people were aware that children also go through mental health challenges like depression, and to help people to become aware of that and more vigilant themselves so that they can address it at an early onset instead of waiting until they're adults or something um, happens. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to become a part of this particular book, because. And I love the fact that it opens up the conversation to have um, candid conversations about mental health. So I appreciate you for setting the table for us to come and sit and have a conversation about mental health and awareness
Well,
about it.
absolutely, Tijuana. Listen, and you because you've been a part of the tribe now for a while. I've always openly talked about mental wellness in so many different platforms that I possibly can because it is something that has affected me, and it's something that I feel like once you have I think everybody in some way, shape, form, or fashion deals with it. But when you've dealt with it in such a severe way, I feel like it's something that we constantly battle, right? And so it's something that you're always battling, which is not a bad thing. It's good when you can be able to speak about it, right? Now, to be more specific, for those of you guys just joining us, Tijuana was a part of a collaboration book that we did, Mind Over Mental Health. What's the title? Child, we done did so
I,
many.
I'm going to show
Yes,
them.
show
I'm
us
going to
the cover. There it is, the ultimate
the
guide to
ultimate
unapologetic mental
guide.
health. As soon as I saw it, I was like, all right. So scoot it right in front of your face so they can see because we side by side. There it is. Y'all see that? And so this is actually a collaboration book as well as a journal. And so I had each one of our authors to include some journaling pieces that are designed to really help you to sit down and think about, your own mental health and being able to get to that next level. Now, one thing that I think is important to have an understanding on is why are you so passionate about talking about mental health, and then to the point where you left corporate America and you actually transitioned into working with kids specifically in this area. So what makes you so passionate about this topic?
Well, when I was a kid going through depression, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was experiencing. Um, and I think students, 'cause I deal with students who I can tell they're having some challenges of their own. Um, they don't have the language to talk about what they're going through, and sometimes they don't have the support to also be able to share with someone that they're going through something. So because I already was in that space, I know I can see it, from other people, and so I want to be a support for those students. And yeah, that's my contribution to parents who may not have the wherewithal to handle certain situations like that.
I think that's important. Well, let's dig even deeper, right? Because to have a passion to help other people that have dealt with it, especially children, I think is so important and it is so needed. Can you tell us about your journey with mental health and wellness, and how you directly connect to those that you're actually helping?
So, I think in retrospect, because I didn't know I was going through depression when I was younger, I had moments of sadness, and that's kind of how I started to think about depression. But I don't anymore. I know it's more than that. But I I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know until I really became an adult and thought about what was happening. And I could apply language to what was going on in my life. I think for me, working with children, I see myself being able to support them better so that they also know what they're going through and they can ask for help themselves because they may not say anything about it. For me, most people probably didn't know I was going through it. And as an adult, I know they probably didn't know it because um, the title of this broadcast is Smiling on the Outside, Drowning on the Inside. That's because people who have functional depression, which is what I've had, can deal with it and people not know what they're going through. And children become very good at that. So instead of students growing up to be adults with depression, I would like to help them before they become adults with depression and not know how to handle it well and in a healthy way.
Man, yeah, well listen, I can relate and I see Deech, she says that she can relate as well to that title. And I don't know if we have anybody else that can relate. I also want to shout out we have Tyran, one of our BPC members in the house. What's going on, Tyran out of Atlanta? But I can relate to that Tijuana from, just being that person to smile. And it's crazy because if you're really good at masking, when you do go through it, sometimes people don't even believe it. They're like, what? You'll be fine. You know what I mean? When you are, like you said, literally drowning. And so I think that, helping young children children at a young age is so important because what we don't want to do is walk around trying to mask something because ultimately when that breakdown happens, honey, because it is a mess, right? And so I'm so excited. And I just want to share that to anybody that's watching. Like, listen, like there's no need for us to try to mask it. And yes, I'm a big advocate, I am, for one that says speak positive things about yourself. But what I don't believe in is ignoring what you feel. So yes, you might be feeling like a whole hot mess. Don't ignore it though, right? But still, you do have to be careful about affirming the things that you want in your life. And so I think it's important. And then also seeking professional help in ways that'll best work for you. Can I ask you this? What were some of the things, and I know that we asked this in a book, you don't have to give it all, but what were some of the things that you actually have done so that you could be able to battle through this? Or at least just come out on the other side, not drowning. Can we just say it like that? Not drowning. What are some of the things that you've done?
So there are three things that stuck out for me. One was, and one of the main things, I think, because like I said, it started when I was really young, getting to know Jesus helped
Mm.
me so much. That's probably been the anchor for me. Just having a relationship with Jesus, number one. Um, the second thing is learning to say no to all the things that I would pile up on me. Because I think as a kid and even now, being a perfectionist and wanting to do everything well and letting the chips fall where they may sometimes. If I can't do it all, if I don't have the capacity, learning to say no and being okay with that and not feeling guilty about it has also been helpful. So that's a boundary that I've created. Um, but also, the third thing would be acceptance, I would say. Learning to accept what is right now, but not resigning, meaning I know things will change, but right now they're the way they are. And I need to work through the way they are right now. So the accepting those things, but not resigning, meaning I'm not hopeless, but accepting them for what they are at this moment and knowing Jesus and also I can't remember my third one. Uh Hello, is anybody there?
Yes, we're here. I'll see. Well, I definitely know you said Jesus, learning to say no and accepting. So, being okay with saying
And
no and acceptance.
yeah,
Yes.
boundaries. Yeah, the
Yeah,
no.
having those boundaries. Yes, man. Listen, we do not have to make everybody happy by trying to get everybody, do things for everybody and everyone. A lot of times we overwhelm ourselves, wear all these multiple hats, and we are setting ourselves up. So, thank you so much. Well, listen, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back with Tiawanna because she is over here sharing some amazing, amazing nuggets. Guys, she helps young girls and boys be able to battle through mental wellness. And we're talking about, being that person that smiles on the outside, but secretly drowning on the inside. And so if you can relate to this topic, you definitely want to make sure that you stay tuned because I have some more questions for her. But we're going to play a commercial, so we shall be right back. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Taria Vision Avant, and we help speakers, coaches, and network marketers who are authors or future authors learn how to leverage their books to generate over $10,000 plus per month, week, or day. Listen, if you're an author and you want to be plugged into an amazing community, I want to highly recommend you go check out Author All Stars. And for those of you who host conferences, podcasts, things of that nature, and you're looking for some dope people to interview, authorallstars.com. If you also want to find out about our amazing annual magazine, authorallstars.com. Go head over to the website once we are done with this interview. Check it out. Trust me, there's a lot to do there. You can also see all of the replays from our Wealthy Wednesdays there as well. So head over to, authorallstars.com. We'll see you guys over there. Deuces. So yes, head over to Author All Stars after this amazing interview on Wealthy Wednesdays. We are here with Tiawanna Thompson, y'all, and she's going to be talking to us about really battling and pushing through. In fact, the title of the talk, hold on, I be messing up the title, chat. Depression, smiling on the outside and drowning on the inside, y'all. So we're having some really, and I'm so over the top, but child, let me tell you something. Every single day is a new day, and we always have to stay on top of what is going on with our mental health. One of the things that you and I were talking about before we went live is the fact, that having the conversation about friends that are dealing with it and how to actually handle that. And so, as a person who has had friends that have gone through depression, and then someone who was the friend going through depression, I've been on both sides, and there were things that I wish that I would have done or could have done if I only had known. So what are some of the suggestions that you would give to anybody right now that maybe has a friend that is battling mental wellness, and especially even in the space of depression?
So I think that listening is a really great skill to have, but not being that person's therapist. So listening with with your ears and your heart, but encouraging that person to also speak to a therapist, because we sometimes want to be therapists in our friends' lives, and we're not. But um just encouraging them to do that. But also a good friend, it can be helpful to someone battling depression by getting them out the house, helping them to do something that they enjoy and like doing. um, because you want to kind of shift their mood and their focus, get their focus off themselves, and on something positive and productive. So being the person to get them out and active around other people. So I think that that's what a good friend would be doing in a person's life who is battling depression.
Absolutely. Listen, y'all, we are not the doctors. And now, if you are the doctor, cool, but most of us are not. And so
Yeah.
I think, yeah, just being a good supportive system, as much as we possibly can. Sometimes, I know for me, even was just being able to have an outlet.
Yeah.
I don't need no advice. I just need to be
Yeah.
able to let it out, right? With someone that I know loves me and doesn't judge
Mhm.
me. And so I think that's important. Well, they say that depression is one of those silent illnesses. It's a silent
Yeah.
illness, or it's an illness that you cannot see. And I know a lot of times, especially in our community, we're kind of afraid sometimes to tell people
Yeah.
like I'm depressed or I'm dealing with this because we don't want people to think that we're crazy. What is it
Yeah.
that you would like people to know? Some of the biggest misconceptions that people may have about mental wellness, especially depression.
Well, one major misconception I think is that people think that depression has a look. And I think we've seen so many cases in the media recently that blow our minds if we're looking for a look, because people don't always look depressed. So we have to kind of get beyond a look and start seeing or looking deeper for something that we can hold on to other than they didn't look like they were struggling with depression. So it doesn't have a look. That was the main misconception. But I also want people to know that it affects children all the time, and we can't just allow them to grow up into without helping them, because they grow up into adults who have the same struggles if they don't figure out how to help themselves or get help. But I have a misconception that I want to read directly from my book, if I can, Saria. So, from my book, which is the Ultimate Guide to Unapologetic Mental Health, is a collaboration book with other beautiful artists, authors. It says another misconception is that when you're a depressed person, you are always sad. I'm actually a functional depressed person when I am through depression. I'm not sad all the time, but I still could be functioning in a space of depression. On one hand, I can be uplifting and encouraging to someone else and have the most beautiful smile while doing so. But I could also be going through or battling depression at the same time. Depression doesn't have a look. I have had people tell me that at times when I've been physically sick, oh, you don't look sick. And that always makes me chuckle, because I'm like, you don't have to look sick and you don't have to look depressed either. So I think that people have a misconception about depression because they think it has a certain look, and it doesn't. It doesn't have a certain look, and it doesn't discriminate either. So those are some misconceptions I think people have about depression, and we have to lay those to the side, especially now after seeing so many cases around us where people are giving up and losing hope. So,
Absolutely. I'd even like to say, just on top of the giving up and unfortunately, doing the unspeakable. Even just a lot of these shootings and things like that are taking place in this world, I feel like are connected to the mental wellness. And I saw what Deech also said. She said, I wish more people treated mental wellness as important as physical wellness. Well, honestly, we still need balance in the physical too, to be honest, because a lot of that can be contributed to how we do our
yeah.
bodies physically when it comes to mental wellness. Matter of fact, I would like to actually ask you a question about that because that just sparked a little bit of an idea. Do you ever give any kind of advice to your young people that you work with in regards to their physical wellness in connection to their mental wellness? Because I do know, I've heard that studies show that being active. So what are some of the things that you might even share with your young people and even the adult people that are watching right now?
Well, I actually don't share the connection with my students, but I do know there is a connection. When I am going through depression, I get myself out,
Mm-hmm.
get some sun. Sun is very important. I think we don't get
Yes.
enough of it anymore, and that's part of the issue. But I definitely believe what we eat, what we're putting in our bodies. I've recently made some major changes with what I'm eating, because I felt sluggish. I could feel, I just felt like I needed to make a physical change. So
Mm.
there's a definite connection with
Yeah.
mental wellness and physical wellness.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
absolutely, y'all. So, get out there, get out the house, get into the sun. We're not talking about becoming a bodybuilder or nothing like that, but yeah. Let me tell you something, girl. When we went through the pandemic, and honey, I went and got me a good little bike, and I had to get out the house. And
Yes,
so I saw how it was changing my mood. I mean,
it will.
I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the sun. And so, I mean, I became like a pool kid. Like I stayed at the pool and I stayed on my bike. So I definitely understand. And I mean, we could have a whole conversation about the sun and its healing properties that many of us don't
Yes,
even know that's out there, right? Well,
yes.
listen, Tiawanna, oh my goodness, it has been a pleasure. And I'm so excited about this book. I was telling her that I bought several copies and we're going to be, giving several of them away because, again, this is such an important topic. While we're out here, entrepreneurs, speakers, coaches, and working with individuals, baby, we got to make sure that we're taking care of self. But how can someone get in touch with you? I know that you're going to hook them up with something really, really nice.
Well, they can go to www.girlyou'rejustnegative.com, and that's where they can get this and get in contact with me.
Okay. Well, what else is on the site? We got what else are you going to
And my other book, Girl You Just Negative, is
Yeah, so
also
tell them. So explain to it. Lord. Okay, so y'all gonna go to you're just negative.com. This is where you can get a copy of her other book. Now, what is that book about? Sell us, girl. Sell this
it's
thing. What is that book about?
it's about how the connection between your mindset
Mm-hmm.
affects your finances. So it's
Ooh,
called Girl You
ooh.
Just Negative. So it all goes
It all
together,
goes together. Your
Your
mental
mind
health.
together, mental
Yeah.
health, and
Girl.
financial health.
Let
Yes.
me tell you something. Yeah, y'all, we got to start speaking life to our finances. And being negative about it is not going to help. And so I love, love, love the title, Girl, You're Just Negative. And so y'all make sure you're going to go to Girl, You're Just Negative so you can get a copy of that book as well as the mental health. It's not just a book, but also a
A
journal.
journal. Yes.
Yes. So, yes, honey, we're doing big things. Well, Tiawanna, any last imparting words you want to leave with our amazing audience? And thank you guys for being here and being plugged in. I want to shout out Deech and Tyran. And I think we had some more people that were in the comments. But definitely, what last imparting words would you like to leave?
So I would like to leave everybody with parting words. Yes. I want people to be more vigilant around watching the people who are around them and just being kind because you just never really know what someone is going through. So we have to be vigilant and kind to people that we are around because we never know what that kindness can do in their lives and what they are battling. So just be kind and vigilant is what I'd like to leave with everybody, and spread hope so we can all be here and in this interesting world that we live in and make the most of it. So, but but that's what I'd like to share with everybody.
Absolutely. Well, Tijuana, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to all of our viewers. I love that she said that being kind, being vigilant about it. Being kind is definitely something that all of us can do, no matter who we're being kind to. Taking the day to smile at someone, taking a day to, somebody says something rude to you, they might be going through something. It don't got nothing to do with you. And I've had to work on that as well. Like just not even putting myself into the equation when I know I didn't do anything. Do my best to try to stay kind, apologize. Thank you. Risa, yes. Hello, darling. Apologize. Just, pray for people. Oh my God, I've been doing that too. As soon as somebody tells me something is going on, not just doing I'm going to pray for you. You know what I'm saying, y'all. When you say I'm going to pray for you, you really don't. No, I've literally been finding out so many just different things and will literally just pull over and do a prayer, or stop what I'm doing and do a prayer, and just doing my best to be kind. It's something that it just does something to your spirit. One other thing I just want to even encourage for those of you who are battling depression, I would say number one is definitely, like Tijuana said, get out the house. But also number two, when you get out the house, go do something for somebody else. Something nice. If you ain't got no money, maybe you might see someone that is less fortunate or maybe without a house. have a conversation with them. A lot of times when we see certain people that might even be less fortunate, we don't even really pay much attention. But I did that recently. I stopped and talked to someone and just was asking them about their lives. How did they get to where they are? You know, what would they do if they could do anything different? Just letting people know that I see you, that I know that you're a real person. And so I am so grateful for these conversations that we're having here on Wealthy Wednesdays. Wealthy Wednesdays is not just about having money, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, it's one thing to have money, you know, to have bank, to have dollars, but it's another thing to have wealth. And for me, wealth is all about having balance in mind, body, and soul, having balance in your relationships, balance in your business or career, because everybody ain't got to be an entrepreneur, balance in your wellness, and that's mental and physical. And mostly, I know Tiawanna said this too, but balance with your God. My God, he walked this earth one time. He created a version of himself, his son, Jesus Christ, that walked this earth. And I am a big believer that when you have a higher power, because we came here from somewhere, but when you have a higher power that you know is in love with you and wants you to have the best life, man, it just does something for you. So when sometimes people say, I am by myself, I don't have nobody, you do have somebody. There is somebody, there is something, there is the being, mine is God, Jesus Christ, that I know without a shadow of doubt, when all is said and done, he's got my back. So listen, it's been another week of Wealthy Wednesdays. I am so happy. Hey, Shepo, we got Shepo here too as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. For anybody who is watching the replay, thank you for being here. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, please do me a favor. Number one, subscribe, and then please give this a thumbs up, because we are definitely wanting to grow this space, grow this channel. So please, and then if you're watching on Facebook, share this. If you're watching on LinkedIn, please share this. If you are truly enjoying these conversations, all you can do to help us the best is to share it, share it, share it. All right, guys. Well, God bless you all. And we'll see you on next Wednesday on Wealthy Wednesdays. May you have an incredible day. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.